Alright, welcome back guys to another video on the channel. My name is Birthroad and today we're going to be ranking anime by their strongest characters. Right now, real quick before we get started, all I want to say is if you skip, you're going to miss some like important details, right? Obviously, you know, that makes sense. Also, I don't go into like the real in-depth power scaling stuff. I see people like, oh, well, like, you know, it just doesn't scale correctly because of the power system, whatever. I don't know anything about that, alright? I'm just doing this for fun, so, you know, don't get too mad and let's get into it. Number 39, we have Adam from Skate the Infinity. He's just a regular dude for the most part, at least all that I know from what I've seen. And, yeah, I really wanted to put him on here because I don't like him and he's getting whooped by everybody. Okay, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Normal dude getting his ass kicked. Number 38, we've got Haruka Sakura. Again, he's just a teenager. He kind of knows how to fight, but he's just a teenager, bro. He ain't doing nothing. Number 37, we have Ikichi Onizuka. He is basically Haruka Sakura, but grown up as an adult. Now, he can win a lot of fights, but he's not a trained fighter, and pretty much every other character, like every other show has like trained fighters in it, so he's just not going to win. Number 36, we have Ashikaga Takauji, based off a real person, obviously, so he is just a normal dude, but in the show, he's actually responsible single-handedly for wiping out an entire clan, where history, it's slightly different, but anyway, that's besides the point. You know, just anyway. All right, let's continue. So yeah, again, he's just a normal dude. He's a pretty skilled samurai, right? But that's pretty much it. Number 35, we have Mamoru Takamura. Now, I think Takamura beats Takauji mainly because he's a lot bigger, he's a lot faster, he's a lot stronger. Sure, Takauji will have a weapon, but Takamura literally, I mean, you could see the scar on his chest. He handled a bear. Do I think Takauji's stronger than a bear? No. Takamura is handling that, in my opinion. Number 34, we have Mugen. Mugen is a way more skilled. He's a fantasy swordsman. His moves, obviously, are not realistic. Takauji, him being based off a real person, I'm going to assume he has the limitations of a real person, even if they are stretched for the anime. He is based off a real guy, right? Mugen, not based off a real guy. His movements are ridiculous. Honestly, don't make sense. That's something Takamura would not be able to keep up with. And, yeah, so that's why Mugen's this high. Number 33, we have Thorfinn. Similar reasons. Thorfinn is a kid, but he is a master assassin, so that is why he's, well, obviously, you know, Thorfinn does grow up, but he's not really an assassin anymore by the time he grows up, but still, he is a master assassin, so, yeah, example-wise is high, but he does just use, like, 2 little knives. Then number 32, we have Motoko Kusanagi. She has a gun, so Thorfinn, everybody under is just not beating that, I'm going to be honest. She is also a robot. She is a trained... She's like trained. I don't know if assassin's the right word. Maybe it is. I don't know. Trained assassin, right? She's super smart because she is a robot, but she is also a robot. And so moving on with number 31, I have Sugimoto Saichi. Now, I know people are going to be like, oh, Motoko, you know, she's a robot. She's been trained to this, whatever. Sugimoto, he is a war-like hero. Like, he has war stories told about him because of how good he is. And I've got to have faith in humanity, right? Like, I'm not putting a robot over a human, bro. Like, you know, I need us humans to win, but realistically, it'd be a pretty tough battle between the two. Sugimoto is a legendary war hero, so it would be a good battle, right? But I got to give the edge to the human. Number 30, we have Spike Spiegel, obviously trained assassin, trained bounty hunter, and his feats just scale a lot higher than everybody else under him. Like, he takes out people that realistically aren't even, like, human, bro. Like, he is a lot smarter than a lot of the people under him, excluding, you know, Motoko, because she's a robot. But he is a lot smarter than everybody else, and his training is a lot more intense. There's so many reasons, but he just takes out people that the guys under him simply could not. Number 29, we have Koko Shibo. Now, we have him here with the demon powers, of course, because without the demon powers, he just ends up becoming normal swordsman. But with the demon powers, nobody below him is going to be able to handle him. And, yeah, but overall, you know, Demon Slayer verse does not really scale that high, so, yeah. Number 28, we have Kenshin Himura. Now, I know what people are saying. Oh, but how can anybody cut off his head or whatever if they don't have the sword? Some stuff you'll see, like, obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased. I'm just doing this for fun. But Kenshin Himura is literally a master swordsman. And many people don't know, but Haki kind of originated from... Haki from One Piece originated from... what's it called? Rurouni Kenshin. And Kenshin Himura, you know, becomes a master at that, right? And I'm sure that would be good enough to cut off the head of a demon. So, yeah, I feel like that makes sense for Kenshin Himura to be ahead of him. But he's definitely a better swordsman than everybody listed. He can beat people with guns, so somebody like Spike Spiegel, right? Like, he is a master samurai. Like, he's super elusive. He's obviously kind of OP. Like I said, he has Haki existed here. It wasn't called that. I forgot what it's called in Rurouni Kenshin, but I think that helps him out a lot as well. Number 27, we have Atom Smasher. Now, he's just a pretty strong robot. I just think everybody ahead of him is just a lot stronger, right? Like, this is kind of the next tier. If this were a tier list, we'd be moving on to the next tier with Atom Smasher. But after Atom Smasher, number 26, we have Yujiro Hanma. Now, I know this dude's a normal dude, or so they say. But you watch the show, you see what he does. This dude ain't normal. He is taking Atom Smasher and ripping him apart, bro. Like, he is that guy. I don't know how he does what he does, but yeah, I mean, you know, hey, if you've watched it, you know, he's definitely winning against that. But number 25, we have Edward Elric. Now, honestly, those two, Atom Smasher and Yujiro, would probably be in the same tier. We would honestly move up another tier here. I don't think Yujiro stands a chance against Edward. Edward, in those final moments, was the strongest sorcerer, right? So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to say that he beats Yujiro. I don't know what Yujiro is going to do against somebody who can just summon a bunch of shit on top of him. Yeah, I'm not sure what Yujiro could do, so I think Edward wins that pretty easily. Number 24, we have Dante. Now, I'm only going off the anime. I haven't played the games. I haven't watched the old anime, only the new one, right? And I see he has like good regeneration powers. He's pretty strong. He's a good marksman or whatever. He's pretty fast, but overall, there's just nothing really here that puts him ahead of a lot of people, right? But I think he beats everybody under him pretty comfortably. Number 23, we have Netero. Netero could literally just blow up anyone under him and be fine. So, yeah. I didn't know who to put for Hunter x Hunter because part of me wanted to put Hisoka, part of me wanted to put Meruem, because Meruem was the strongest without honestly getting bullshitted out, which is pretty much what Netero did to him. But Hisoka, like, I feel like has the most feats, like has shown that he is arguably the strongest. I also thought about Kurapika against the spiders. So I don't know. There's a lot of people you could throw up for Hunter x Hunter, but either way, I think they're all going to land here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I did just put Netero because he did take out Meruem, and if I'm debating Meruem, Netero took him out. I'm just going to leave it at that. Number 22, we have Gilgamesh. Now, I've only seen Fate Zero, so keep that in mind. I haven't seen Fate Stay Night. I don't know if he becomes like more overpowered or anything, but honestly in Fate Zero, he's pretty strong, right? Like he can summon all these weapons and things like that, but he's pretty slow and he's way too cocky. Like the people ahead of him are going to beat him just because of his cockiness. So yeah, he's also, like I said, pretty slow. He's not really that fast compared to a lot of other characters. Number 21, we have Shigeo Kageyama. This is another one. I shouldn't say he doesn't have similar powers to Gilgamesh, but like you can see where I'm making the connection. They just fling shit around. But Mob is so powerful when he's at 100%. I don't see how Gilgamesh or anyone under could beat him. I honestly don't. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory on that one. I mean, he kind of sends shit everywhere. His psychic powers are overpowered. You're honestly not getting close to him. He's super fast. He's causing calamity everywhere he goes. Absolutely overpowered. Number 20, we have Light Yagami, which I know, this is kind of supposed to be like a strength thing, but I'm also including intelligence too, because when you're fighting someone, intelligence definitely matters. Like Light is beating everyone under him just off of his pure intellect. The only one he would struggle against is people without like names. For example, like Gilgamesh, like he's not getting Gilgamesh's name, and Gilgamesh is already dead anyway, so he couldn't do anything, but he's definitely smart enough to find another way to beat Gilgamesh, and I'm pretty confident Light could figure that out. But next, at number 19, we have Makima. Now, this is only going off the anime because I have not read Chainsaw Man, and she just seems pretty overpowered, right? I know one spoiler about her, but I'm not going to say because I don't, not everybody reads the manga, so I'm not going to spoil them. But Makima seems to be pretty strong, right? I don't exactly know what her power is, but the fact she could blow up people from so far away, it's going to be pretty difficult to beat her, but I think everybody ahead of her has it on lock. Number 18, we have All Might, the symbol of peace, right? All Might is pretty strong. He's got all these different abilities and stuff. Pretty fast, pretty strong. Yeah, I mean, he's literally kind of just like the My Hero Superman, so I don't really think I need to say anything else. And if anybody's wondering why I chose All Might, I mean, he was the #1 hero for the longest time. The only other one you could really say is maybe All For One, but All Might beat him. And I know people might say Deku with all the quirks, but the anime hasn't finished, so I don't know. But yeah, All Might is my pick here, and I think he beats everybody else so far. The number 17, we have Yusuke Urameshi. I don't think All Might can really handle Yusuke's ability to, well, basically his spirit energy, right? Like, I think everyone under him cannot handle that spirit energy. That spirit gun is wiping out everybody under him, and he's also pretty quick, more than what he's given credit for. And then he also has like the demon abilities as well and things like that. So I think Yusuke has a pretty solid spot up here. Number 16, we have Decim. Now he's an arbiter, which means he's pretty much immortal and already dead, but let's just say he wasn't, but he still had his powers. He could pretty much tie everybody up with a string. The only reason the people are ahead of him is because they may be strong enough to break out, which nobody before, I would say, is. They can counter his ability in some way, or they're smarter than him, or they speed blitz him. There's a lot of different examples, right? But Decim, he can pretty much just tie everybody up under him because he is pretty quick. He's sort of like all powerful, right? So yeah, I think he gets everybody under him pretty easily. Number 15, we have Yami Tsukihiro. The reason why I have Yami above Decim, I know Yami is super slow, but Yami just absolutely overpowers him. All he needs to do is take out that sword. I don't think Decim's going to be able to tie him up before Yami takes out that sword. And one-dimensional slash, which Decim can do nothing about. He is cooked, right? And again, I put Yami on here because I didn't want to put any manga spoilers. I do know some manga stuff about Black Clover. And some characters I did include manga stuff, which I know is going to be kind of weird that I didn't with all these, but I just wanted to be more concrete on some of these. So yeah, I'm going off anime only. I think Yami, in anime wise, is the strongest. Now I know you could be like, oh, but he struggled against Dante, blah blah blah. I think honestly, if they were to rematch or whatever, I think Yami's got it. I believe in Yami. I think he's super overpowered, right? And I honestly kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot about Dante until doing this. So maybe Dante, whatever, same spot though. Number 14, we have Vash. Now, I just finished Trigun. It was super duper good. I highly recommend. And Vash, they call him the Human Typhoon for a reason. He takes out a lot of people, not on purpose, but I do think the reason he gets so high is because his destructive power is obviously insane. Now, of course, he never wants to unleash that, so you're going to have to force that of him, but it's also going to be hard to hit him. So while he is trying not to fight back, eventually, it's going to come to the point where he has to. It happened in the show, and everybody under him is too slow. Honestly, Vash is super, super fast, which gives him a good advantage on a lot of stuff, and he's an expert marksman, right, which is going to make it difficult to get close or to really be in range of him because he can really hit you from anywhere. And then if you actually do damage to him, like someone like Yami probably could, he is going to wipe out the nearby area by quite a lot. So that's why I have him here. Number 13, we have Osamu Dazai. Now, I have Dazai here for two main reasons. He's pretty much like Light. I do think Dazai is a little bit smarter than Light, but that don't really matter in this case because he's one of the smartest people on here. He's going to outsmart almost everybody. But he actually has an ability. He has the ability to nullify abilities. So everybody under him with an ability is getting nullified. Now, someone like, I don't know, an example. Like, obviously, Takamura has no ability, right? So that would have no effect on him. But Dazai is smart enough to beat Takamura in so many other ways. And then you look at someone like, let's say, Yusuke. Yusuke is not going to have any spirit energy, right? Like, what can Yusuke do against Dazai with no spirit energy? Nothing, right? So that's why I have Dazai this high. He is incredibly smart, just like Light. And he has an ability to stop abilities. So, yeah. Number 12, we have Koro Sensei. Now, I have him up here pretty much just for the speed. Now, obviously, I know you need the military grade stuff to destroy him or whatever, but if that was made by the military, I think it's pretty likely other people on here could do it. But yeah, I really just have him here for the speed factor. He honestly speed blitzes everybody under him, and yeah, that's about it. Number 11, we have Mash Burn Dead. Mash is just as fast as Koro, if not faster. He's way stronger. He can actually fight, and he can somehow fly. So that's why I have him above. He's basically just a better Koro, right? And then at number 10, we have Sung Jin Woo. Now, the Aura Farmer here, he becomes overpowered in the 2 seasons. I don't know anything about the manhwa, so, I can't say anything about that. But he becomes overpowered in the 2 seasons, which allows him to basically speed blitz a lot of people under him. Some that he don't, like let's say Koro and Mash, he is just stronger than, unfortunately. So someone like that, like Mash, is not beating Sung Jin Woo, sadly, because he's just not strong enough. Sung Jin Woo's a lot stronger than them and just as fast as them, so that kind of, it's pretty self-explanatory there. But let's move on to number 9, and we have Lelouch Lamperouge. Now, this is a similar thing to Light and Dazai. More similar to Dazai because he has an ability as well. Super smart. I would argue Lelouch is smarter than both of them. I mean, he manipulated an entire country, arguably the entire world, and he has an ability at that. Everybody under him, he can literally just tell them to, hey, end yourself, and they will. The people above him, I think, are not only smart enough to not do that, but they also may have powers that stop them from doing that, or many different scenarios where things like that wouldn't work, they wouldn't be outsmarted, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's why Lelouch ranks here, because that I will only take him so far. Number 8, we have Gojo. An example of this. What is Lelouch to do against Gojo? Now, obviously here he has the blindfold off, but Gojo, most of the time has the blindfold on. He will never make eye contact with Lelouch, so therefore, Lelouch cannot do anything with his Gyos. Now, Lelouch is smarter than Gojo, but Gojo is pretty smart, and he would eventually get to Lelouch. Lelouch would not be able to do anything to Gojo. It just wouldn't be possible, so yeah, that kind of explains all that. Gojo, as well, if you're wondering why I didn't choose Sukuna, if you know some of the manga stuff, Gojo would never lose a 1v1. Let's just be honest. He's not. Gojo is the strongest sorcerer in history, so yeah. Anyway, number 7, we have Kaido. Kaido, the strongest 1v1er in One Piece. Now, this one was really hard to choose from because I was thinking, like, okay, I could choose the strongest 1v1er in Kaido, which is what I went with. That's what they say. They say he's the strongest in the ones, right? Nobody's beating Kaido one-on-one. I could go with the strongest in the anime, which you could probably say is like Roger or Whitebeard. But I could also go with the strongest alive because both of those are dead, and Kaido is also dead, which maybe you would have to go Shanks. But I decided to go with the option that made the most sense, which to me was Kaido, because we've seen a lot of Kaido. We haven't seen a lot of Shanks. We haven't seen a lot of Roger. And we've seen Whitebeard when he was old. We didn't see Prime Whitebeard, so that's why I went with Kaido. Now, either way, they're going to be in the same position, so it doesn't really matter. You can plug in any of them, but the reasons are going to be slightly different. But that's why I went with Kaido, just because he... How do I say this? Yeah, he's the only one we have the most, content on. So I put Kaido here, and the reason why he beats Gojo, obviously he's a big-ass dragon. Gojo might be, he's not going to really do any damage, right? It's going to be hard for Kaido to hit him, but eventually he will. Gojo does not have infinite energy, and it seems Kaido does. Kaido was on that roof fighting for 2 days straight. I don't think Gojo's lasting that long. So yeah, Kaido, super strong. Number 6, we have Madara. I have Madara as the strongest character from Naruto. I was going to do Naruto and Boruto, but I'm not going to lie, with the new Twin Blue Vortex, I don't really know. And for Boruto, I was debating between Naruto or Sasuke. I think they're still the strongest, but yeah, I decided, you know what, it doesn't matter. Let's just put them all in one. Madara is the strongest in the Naruto universe, and I know people are going to talk about like Kaguya and the gods and stuff like that. Madara, with their power, did more than what any of them have done or could do, right? And you can say they might be stronger or whatever, or Naruto didn't use the Baryon mode, but nobody could beat Madara. He was never beaten. All those gods have been beaten, and it wasn't even likely they were to beat him. They were going to lose if they kept fighting Madara. That's just what it looked like. Now, if Naruto used the Baryon mode, would they have won? Maybe. I don't know, right? But Madara definitely, from what we have, is the strongest in the Naruto verse. He kind of got BS'd out the show, so is what it is. And he definitely beats Kaido super easily. I mean, I don't think that really needs to be a debate. He's better than Kaido at everything. So yeah. Number 5, we have Saitama. Now this is where it like really takes that jump, because Madara ain't lifting a finger to Saitama. Saitama's one punching bro. Now the reason I don't have Saitama higher is because I think the next 4 have just shown more. Like, I'm going off anime only. I haven't read, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even counting season 3 either. I do not want to watch that shit. For keeping it a buck. So season 1 and 2, I mean, the strongest guy he fought is Boros, and Boros seems strong, don't get me wrong, but all the people ahead of him are definitely stronger than Boros, so I just need more proven from Saitama, right? Now, I know he's the One Punch Man, but I also know he doesn't one punch everybody, right? Like, I know in season 3 he's supposed to have that fight with a certain guy that I will not name if you don't want to be spoiled, obviously, and there's no way he one punches him. So yeah, and I think everybody ahead of him, does do that. Saitama one punches everybody below them. Number 4, we have Jin Mori, a literal god. I am not caught up on this either, but I went as far as possible. And you could even argue the anime Jin Mori stronger than Saitama, although I would agree because that's when I would disagree because that's when he just got his god powers. I'm about over halfway done with the manhwa/webtoon, whatever you want to call it, and it is pretty clear that Jin Mori would stomp him. I'm not gonna lie. He's super strong god. He's comparable to like Goku, right? So yeah, he's more comparable to Goku than he is Saitama. Number 4. Wait, I went the wrong way. All right, what is going on? Okay, my buttons got inverted somehow. Anyway, number 3, we have Goku and Vegeta. Now I know what you're thinking. There's two problems here. How are they number 3, not 1 and 2? We'll get to that in a second. But also, why is it Goku and Vegeta, not Zeno? I think the argument for Zeno being the strongest is bullshit. Could he erase them with a snap of the finger? Yes. By the time he snaps his finger, Goku could already slice him in half. That is my argument that I don't understand. Zeno can do things as fast as he can, but he is not nearly as... He could not see Goku and Vegeta. Like, I don't care, bro. Goku and Vegeta can speed blitz him like crazy. And now if you're wondering why I couldn't decide between Goku and Vegeta, is because if you know, Goku would beat Vegeta in a fight. But technically off strength, Vegeta is stronger. Now, I know you can include like... Actually, I am wrong here. It should be Frieza 100%, but all the points about why it's not Zeno, it is 100% Frieza. I do apologize for having Goku and Vegeta, so we're gonna have Frieza here. This still changes nothing. They would still like Frieza still places number 3, but Frieza's by far the strongest in Dragon Ball. I'm not gonna, you know, iterate anything on that because I don't want to spoil the manga, but Frieza's 100% the strongest. So yeah, Frieza here as well. I do think he beats Jin Mori. Jin Mori very strong, but Frieza I think has that. But the next 2 are going to be impossible to beat even for Frieza. Number 2, we have Shinra Kusakabe. Now I know that this is another one I'm including in the manga. So if you know the manga, you know why. But if you don't, you know, you may be wondering, well, why is Shinra here? This makes no sense, blah, blah, blah. If you do not want to be spoiled, I would honestly just look at the bar down there and skip till you see the number 1 pop up because it's a massive spoiler. I'm going to try to keep it quick, though, just in case. And I'm not going to go into huge detail because I don't want to spoil anybody, even if they don't skip. So Shinra, basically everything I said about Zeno, imagine that, but like he's actually really fast. Like he can travel faster than the speed of light, if I'm not mistaken, and he has powers on par with Zeno. So that's why Shinra is this high. He is basically a more overpowered version and someone who can actually fight if he would need to. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to number 1, the strongest anime character of all time. Now, the arguments against this guy, I don't get. The arguments for him, I'm like absolutely the strongest character in all of anime. There's no debate. We have Giorno, Giovanna. I just don't think you can argue anything against him, right? Because people are gonna be like that. Like I said, I don't do the scaling. Be like, oh well, since their power system's not as strong as Goku's, Goku bypasses. Like that's not how that works. Let's keep it a buck. That's not how that works. Anything done to Giorno, this is the only thing we know about his power, and we know his power is pretty much limitless. But anything done to Giorno is reset to 0, meaning, oh well, let's say we have a character like Goku that blows up the Earth. If that affects Giorno, reset. It's reset. What can he do? Nothing. You try to punch Giorno, reset. And matter of fact, if you punch Giorno, he's going to affect you and put you in that 1,000 loop death loop. That's the only other thing we know he can do. And all he has to do is touch you for that. So you can't even physically hit him, right? So let's say someone like Shinra. Oh, let's rewrite history. Reset back to 0. Now, I know what you're saying. You got all the events that happen in Stone Ocean and things like that. Why didn't Giorno reset that? He did. But I assume the way it works is we're splitting into two separate things. The universe of Pucci where it didn't reset, because you got to think like what he did to Diavolo sent him through thousands of universes, right? So Giorno is still fine, and the old what's it called, JoJo's like universe is fine because Giorno reset it. But the timeline that we're following was the Pucci one, but it did get reset. So you can't affect Giorno. You cannot. He cannot be beat. There's nothing you can do. Even if you have someone like Zeno come and be like, oh, you no longer have your powers. Guess what? That's reset. You can't do anything to him. He's broken. He's overpowered. He's the most overpowered character in anime. There's not a thing you can do to stop him. So yeah, that is going to be the list. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. It's free. We're here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I have a subathon coming up as well, where we're going to be doing some anime stuff on there, obviously, as well. So that'll be in the description. December 28th will be the start of my subathon if you want to come say hey to me. But I'll see you guys. Peace.